cool. Got my own. Hey, what's up? Good to see you again. How are you? Okay. I just had to present it. He's got the YouTube. What's up, doctor?
Maybe college wants you to do
What's the people are asking what's the hack? People are asking if I'm Tony. They're like, are you technical? Is it anything as long as it uses
So today is a workshop
oh
that we've been learning how to work.
okay. It's a workshop.
Yes.
We already know how.
Well,
Don't trip on the cords.
it's kind of more for the vibes then.
Yeah.
You flip
Yeah, but the colleague, they should speak in this microphone, by the way. No, you when you speak, you should come and speak in this microphone.
Why?
Because then people won't want them.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we want people online. So gotcha.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Hello, we are hybrid today, going live here. Hello, everyone from the community, Flow community, listening to us, Venture Miner community here in the socials. More than a handful, more than a dozen people watching us live. And here we have 20, 25, maybe or more, going to the snacks and drinks. Thank you all for coming today. We're going to start with a presentation. First of all, I would like to invite my friend Colin to speak about this space. We are in this amazing place called the Forte Tower. We're just doing a lot of cool events here. Say hello to everyone, Colin.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. Hello, everyone online. I'm Colin Lowenberg. I'm the founder of Dabble Club, and I've done over 300 events over the last 2 years. And now we've got an event every single day here at Frontier Tower at 6th and Market in San Francisco. If you come visit San Francisco, for the people online, come by, hit me up. I'm here almost all the time. Our event today, this space is called the Maker Space. So you can see we're literally making the space. The floors are done, the ceilings are not. But we've set up the space to be a workshop, but there's also events happening on multiple floors. So the 2nd floor and the 16th floor, we've got tons of events for Tech Week. And if you'd like to be a member, come talk to me, or you can sign up on the website. You get 24/7 access to this amazing vertical village. So it's an intentional community of founders and builders and investors who all come together to try to create something in the spirit of Zuzulu and the spirit of Burning Man, but inside of a tower full of technology in the center of San Francisco. So we're looking for new members, and if you want to host an event here, come talk to me. Also, thank you guys for the people online. Mateus is awesome. I've been following him around the world. Sign up for the Venture Miner calendar so you don't miss any of his online events.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Paul. This place is really, really amazing. Let me see if I can take my background off, just to show people. If possible, the effects. So let me put them on. So this is the kind of space. Okay, so if you're following us live, you're going to see these are the kind of vibes that are around. Imagine 20-something people here, doing snacks, ready to get started with the workshop. Thank you all for participating. So what we're doing today, let me start sharing my screen. We're going to vibe code, building applications for letting the flows vibe, let the vibes flow with us today. Using Wingsurf to guide us, so even if we're a total beginner, even if it's the first time that you're coding something in your life, or if it's the first time that you're coding a decentralized application in your life, it should be as easy as chatting with an AI in a very specific way, which should be very easy. And I would like to explain why we're doing this and why we're learning specifically about Flow. There are many things for survive code out there, and Flow is hosting this event with us today in the middle of Tech Week. Why? And the whole reason behind that is the moment that we're living in the community because of the launch of the Forte Hacks with more than $250,000 in prizes. 252 or 253 last time I counted. And for that, we have Chase, developer tooling at Flow, that's going to explain a little what's going on and why this is relevant. Thank you very much for coming, Chase.
Hey, thank you. Very excited to be here. It's cool to see. I was just saying, I don't think a year ago would have been like a vibe coding, workshop. So it's cool to see how far everything's come in a year and what people are capable of now. So if you're not familiar with Flow, Flow's a layer 1 blockchain. Originally came out of, I don't know if you're familiar with CryptoKitties, which was one of like the first popular consumer applications. Yeah. And they actually ran into a bunch of scalability issues on Ethereum, and wound up taking a bunch of learnings and spinning out their own chain to solve some of those scalability issues, which would be like the multi-role node architecture, and a new smart contract language, which was kind of optimized for security, which was like this resource-oriented programming, so assets could, not be variables on a contract, but have to move and be accounted for wherever they go. And after they did that, they launched an app called NBA Top Shot, which was one of the biggest NFT apps out there, still used by the NBA, and recently just launched Disney Pinnacle. So we have a big release coming up at the end of October 22nd, which is called Forte. And so we're doing this big hackathon around Forte Hacks. And so, we're excited to see what everyone can make up. Hopefully you learn some stuff about vibe coding here. There's a track on there for vibe coding specifically, as well as many other tracks that you can also apply for. So excited to see what people hit. And a couple of the really exciting things that are coming with Forte are things like scheduled transactions. So not really possible on many other chains. I think so you can schedule a transaction that will execute in the future and call back something. And so you can think of things that are unlocked on chain like this, like subscriptions or some dollar cost averaging in for your users. And also some other composable DeFi primitives that mixed with scheduled transactions make for some really, really cool use cases. So very excited to see what comes out of this hackathon. And if you have any questions on Flow, let me know. And send it back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have a question. Yep. What sets Flow apart from other blockchains? You might need to repeat the question for the audience.
Yeah, the question was what sets Flow apart from other blockchains? I would say one of the biggest things is that we have a lot of successful consumer applications, so there's a lot of network effects that are already involved, right? The focus on composability, and so that's because you can go and deploy everything, it's EVM equivalent, and we also have this cadence language. You can just compose on top of things, and it's not, data availability isn't scattered across sharding, it isn't scattered across different L2s, everything's on there. It's very affordable, the transactions are very cheap, and these new features that are coming out are very exciting. And then also if you wind up diving in off of Solidity and start writing things like Cadence, Cadence is optimized for security, so there's a lot less foot guns in the language. You can do some pretty amazing stuff. There's a whole scripting side of it, as well as transactions that let you do multiple things. You could even, start doing batch transactions from the Solidity side if you want, which isn't even really available yet. It's available, but not extremely usable on the EVM side.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, it's usable in ours, but batch transactions, anything you want to do on that side. So that cross VM applications are really exciting, and we have some docs on there as well for that. So, yep. Thank you.
No, that's wonderful. Let me just. Yeah, we had a little adjustment with the audio here, but now it's great. Let me see if everything's. No, that's good. Yeah. Let me see if the stream is correct. Everything's going okay. We have all interpreter in the backstage. Thumbs up. So everything's okay. Is the audio good? Okay, wonderful. So that's great. We have Forte Hacks ongoing now with Flow, and if you give a look on the prizes, We do have all sorts of prizes, complex prizes, intermediate prizes. So like the best killer app on Flow, you could win $8,000, $5,000, or $3,000. You could have Flow actions with a specific part that we're not going to go over today, core integrations and blah, blah, blah. But look at that. We have $5,000 waiting for you, Vibe coders. Throughout the next 22 days. This hackathon is going throughout October. So if you register today, it's here in the page. So if you register in the Forte Hacks today and vibe code to the next 22 days, or apply your project today as well, that could be very cool. You are going to have a chance to win these $5,000. Actually, up to 5 prizes of $1,000. So 5 people can win those prizes here. And there are a lot of other perks that you can pursue. I was just showing that. The community bounties, the best vibe coded projects here, using the Flow AI resources that are going to cover over the session today. Okay. So if you're a beginner, if it is the first time that you're using Flow or developing the app at all, I'm going to cover the basics on getting started with the best kind of tools that I can recommend, so that it's not going to be a hassle. We're going to just vibe through it. Okay, you're going to chat with the AI for the next 2 hours or so, getting started with the tooling, with the ecosystem, with your environment, and then you should be able to run all of that. Okay. Good. Any questions before we begin? Yeah.
What type of wallet do we need?
I'm going to guide them through all of that. You're going to need to install one wallet only, and I would recommend MetaMask. This one that I have in my device, and I'm going to explain why. What's a wallet and why this should be the first. And I do have a lot of money here, like $35,000 of money. I'm going to show you how to get $35,000 today. Okay? It's fake money. Don't get us too excited.
Is it testnet?
It's testnet, yes. So it's fake money. It's still $35,000. It's quite a number, right? But you cannot buy anything with it. It's like Brazilian reals. Just kidding. You're not that bad yet. Okay, so good questions. Anyone here has already deployed the apps? Igmer, I know that did. I know that there are some familiar faces here. So, have you deployed the app before? With the eternity, yes. With calling, yes. So if you deploy the app, it's going to be quite the same way. We're going to use a very specific tooling set of tools called Scaffold ETH, using the Flow developer documentation and Windsurf ID. So this combo is unique. Might work very well for you. So this is why I'm going to demonstrate it today. And I've been showing that for my students. I have more than 80,000 people in my community, nearing 9,000 now. And a lot of them come to my workshops. I learn what works, what doesn't work. So this kind of combo can work very well. Even if you're a beginner, it should work well. And if you're experienced developers, you're going to see how convenient these kind of tools are. Okay, just to give a context, just 30 seconds. These kind of tools, whenever I show that before a hackathon, I have beginners that come to my workshops. They go there and win a prize. They go first prize of a sponsor, second prize and another. This happened here on ETHSF last year, and 5 groups came from my boot camp and they won prizes using this kind of stack. So it is powerful and beginner friendly at the same time. Very cool, right?
Where do we deploy our app to? Do we get free Vercel credits or something?
You can deploy for free in Vercel. We don't have the credits for Vercel. Wish we had. If anyone from Vercel is here, yay, reach out to me. But I don't have the credits to disperse. But I do have Windsurf. On Monday, I was announcing some credits that we have for Windsurf. You can apply to get 1 month free of the Windsurf Pro. Okay, if you are interested in that, let me know. The coupon code is V-minor. You can send for everyone. And then you can get started using 1 month free of Windsurf with the best models out there. These I can give you.
Is there any significant difference between Windsurf and Cursor when we do this?
Yeah, Cursor, Windsurf, Klein, most of them should work equal. It's going to be different from CLIs. Okay, if you use Cloud Code CLI or Gemini CLI or WAR, might be a little different, but Windsurf should get you enough with most of the things that you need. Okay, good question. That's great. This means that you're interested. You kind of know what's coming for it. So this is the kind of tool. Why specifically these tools that I'm going to show? If you're a senior developer, if you have developed application before, especially Web3 application, you know that you need a lot of things. You get a front end, and then a back end, and then a connection between these. For Web3, you still need a wallet connection, RPC connections. If you're using React, you need the hooks, the whole structure in the back, the skeleton for your app to work. And if you try to vibe that, the chance of success is almost zero. The hallucination rate of these AIs suggesting some slop for you to put in your code, they always do that. They suggest outdated documentation. They suggest deprecated versions of things. Specifically for Web3, for example, there is a package called Truffle. It was deprecated like more than a year ago. And most of these models, they still suggest those older documentation. You know why? If you know, raise your hand.
Scraped it a long time ago.
They trained the models with scraped data from a long time ago. The GPTs, they don't have real world, like real time data. So they are trained with information from a long time ago. The documentation is not updated. Maybe they even have the new documentation there, but it's not like trained for that. No one cared that much about Web3 to train the models to know about these kind of techniques. So having an initial scaffolding structure with everything that you need in place, with just a few clicks or a few comments, is going to be gold for us to get started. Okay? Good? Makes sense? Yeah, people are beeping down there. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
It says Ethereum, why doesn't it say create club?
It's for anything Ethereum compatible, anything. So it can be on Flow, it can be on BNB, it can be on Base, it can be on Arbitrum, anything Ethereum compatible.
Oh, is Flow Solidity compatible?
They do have Solidity compatibility. This is what I'm going to show today, which is pretty cool, right? So you can port everything that you worked on in other chains inside Flow very easily. Cool. If you don't know what is EVM compatibility, imagine that you could have different places to deploy your apps. And if they are not compatible, you need to basically rewrite your whole app. Every time you want to go for a different ecosystem, it kind of sucks. Go for Rust, then go for Move, then go for other language. So whenever you can start on this compatibility mode, called EVM compatibility, you can just deploy there and get started with your project way quicker. Okay? That's the idea. And for the next 2 hours, so we're going to do it step by step. We have snacks, we have food coming. I guess today we have burritos, maybe some pizza, depending how it goes. So it's going to be the whole afternoon. We're going to go very slowly so that we have time. Feel free to ask questions and vibe in the way, okay? Good. So, first things first. I hope that all of you are registered to this page because I'm going to follow those links. And if you don't want to lose time, the first link that I would suggest is to click in the Forte Hacks. Click here, register, fill up your information. You're not decided if you're going to participate, yet, but I'm deciding for you. Click there, register in that hackathon, and you don't pay anything to register, right? Just click and register, and then you can think about submit later. And spoiler alert, you're going to submit something cool. Yeah. Look at those papers. You should have there the Wi-Fi and password. Okay. And if you're following, what's going on? Oh, good. Okay. And if you're following us, hello. Okay. If you're following us remotely, you gotta buy your burritos or pizzas from there. Okay. I cannot ship for your house. Okay. So the first link is that register to the Forte Hacks. The second link would be down here, the scaffolding. If you don't have access to this page, raise your hand right now. and you saw that, okay? So this page should be here, luma.com/vibe-flow. You should find all of this information there. The stream, if you want to reward stuff later, and the material, those 3 links, okay? Okay, anyone with troubles here? We are going to get started with this first thing, scaffolding, that marvel of building apps that I was speaking about, okay? I'm going to suggest this package instead of building all of that, integrating Next.js, RainbowKit, WogMe, and all, because this gives you an initial speed, a leverage. A lot of hackathon projects using this. With Forte Hacks, we have the whole month, but a lot of hackathons, they are quicker. They go through a weekend, sometimes a single day hackathon, and you don't have time to actually build all of these connections. So when you can run one command like this, npx create ETH latest, and get started with the project, it's magical, okay? The usual installation here, it takes like 5 minutes or so in my environment. But I'm going to start as a newcomer, even if you don't have your environment installed. Because Scaffold ETH not only is this modern, clean version, starter pack with all of these models that we need, but also they have this brilliant LLMS.txt version that is a blob of context, of textual context about this documentation that you can just feed for your AI, and the AI is going to know how to code for you with almost zero hallucination chance, because this is going to be passed as a context for the AI. So the AI is going to believe in that as like top priority inside the processing, inside the attention mechanisms. And it's not going to try and bring old, wrong, outdated information for the code generation that is happening. This is cool, isn't it? Have you heard about AI context before? LLMs, how they have context? Of course, we are in SF, right? So it's not important to know the little details of it. Just knowing that handling the context of the AI is a little tricky. Using models that can handle this kind of information is very important. And being able to manage the context for the AI well is one of the most important prompt engineering techniques, okay? Give too much information, it's bad. Give too little information, it's bad as well. So this file is going to be very useful for us. We're going to download that and put in a specific folder for you to get started. And I'm going to guide you how to do that with Windsurf. I know it's not the most popular tool there. It's one of the top 5, but not the first choice. But all of the guides that you see for the tools would also work for Windsurf, because the way that the app works is quite similar. So I would suggest, yeah.
Is there a hackathon component for today?
Yes, there is Forte Hacks that people are going to submit to it, but the actual today is a workshop. Okay. The theme for today's event is this: let the vibes flow during Tech Week SF. So today is a half-day AI vibe coding sprint with Flow. So we're going to do a workshop. Okay. So just make sure we have the expectation sets for today. Good. So, Scaffold ETH, not only they are this complete toolset, they also have this brilliant file there. And I would suggest all of you to get started with this link, the Windsurf AI IDE. This is going to be the tool that will guide you through setting up your environment, getting your dependencies in place, downloading the right packages, cloning the right repositories, running the correct commands on terminal, and even coding for you. Coding even smart contracts. It's quite a complex subject, okay? You should not vibe code smart contracts in production unless you are sponsored by North Korea or something like that, but still you can create these smart contracts with AI and play along, and mainly you're going to learn about this kind of technology using AI. So that would be the main goal today. So I would suggest you to download Windsurf if you haven't yet, And I do have a coupon code. If you go for your dashboard, create an account here at Windsurf, go for manage plan, and if you upgrade your plan for the pro plan, you can use the coupon code V-minor or venture minor, and you would get 1 month for free for all of you today. Hey, I do have this coupon code here. Starter pack. So if you want to activate this offer in your account, you can just go there. This was a Monday's event, but the code is still active. You can just go there. All of you following to the live as well, you can just go there to windsurf.com, create your account, and use this coupon code V-minor, and then you can activate your 1 month free of the pro plan. Okay, for you to use today, for you to use through the month, during the hackathon, and if you vibe code something cool with Flow, you can earn those $1,000. 5 projects might win this $1,000 there. Okay. Good. So now that we are well equipped, we have all the tools, I'm going to suggest first you start exactly with Windsurf. We open it here in my computer. I'm going to pick an empty folder. If you need some time to download that on your side, if you need to go through the steps, installation now, let me know. Okay. The coupon code V, a capital V, dash minor, V of violet, dash minor, minor of like mining. Okay. Why Windsurf? Because we're going to use these AI agents here in the sidebar, and they are going to do all the operations for us. We don't need to do anything on our own. We can just let these agents do all the work, okay? And if you know how to run terminal commands, you can just run this command there to get started. But the even easier way to get started as a newcomer is by clicking on this button here, GitHub, and using this repository as an initial as an initial point state for your project. You can just clone. Click on this green code button. Clone copy this link from the clipboard, and use Windsurf to clone a repository somewhere on your computer. Copy there from GitHub, paste here. You're going to select where in your computer, for example, in the desktop, that's a good place. Your documents, download folders, that's a good place. And I'm going to use this as a destination. This is going to download all of the necessary files for us to get started. All of the configurations, the source code and all. I'm going to open this repository. It's a public one, so you don't need to get permissions or anything like that. Should work out of the box when you install Windsurf. And I'm going to have all of the files needed here in the left. Okay. All of the necessary files are here. Okay. Yeah, if you go to the terminal, you could pick the default options that would be using hard hat. Other questions? Use hard hat, the chain, I guess, then you put local. This is one of the questions, right? Okay. If you know how to use the terminal, this is a very easy command. But if you don't know, Windsurf can guide you. Just clone the repository, put it in one place in your machine. You should have it started, okay? Is anyone here familiar with Windsurf already? Use it? Yeah, Colin.
I don't use it.
Nice. Igmar, yeah.
It's never better than first drop, though.
Yeah. Yeah, a month, yeah, we have the best models. I mean, if you like paying $200 for using models, like I love paying $200 for using models. Okay, use the converters. But if you want to have a month free to use like 500 tokens in credits from the models here, it's quite good. The UI is the UI that you're familiar with, and you have access to a lot of good models. Let me show that for now. Like you can select Cloud Sonnet 45 thinking in 1.5x credits per prompt. I could do 200, maybe 300 prompts like that in a month, and I would still have credits. So Windsurf is great, but Windsurf with those free credits is even better. Okay. Yeah, question in the back. There are some papers here with their Wi-Fi. There are a lot of, like, there are more than 10, maybe 15 seats here in the front. If you guys want to come in the front, maybe you can hear me better, see me better. Let's say take on the food just so that I follow myself. Okay, any troubles cloning the repository? I'm going to go from here now. First action that we're going to do, pay attention so that you don't get lost. Let me see if I have questions in the stream in the meantime. No question. Oh, 60 people watching us remotely. Nice. We have more than 100 today. Nice. So, first thing that I'm going to ask you to do, you clone this repository for somewhere in your machine, right? There are some files here that are going to guide the AIs and all, but we're not going to use these today. You can even delete or just leave it there. I'm going to download this LLMS-full.txt, right-click, download, save link as, or you can just copy the content and paste in a file. It would work as well. I'm going to go from my desktop where I cloned my file, and I'm going to paste this LLMS full.txt in the root folder, in the same folder as these other files. Okay, where we have this package.json stuff here, we have this license stuff here, and I'm going to paste this new file. The name of the file itself is not that important, but it's just important that it's there for you to use, it's accessible, and that it's in the root folder. It's not a board, so that you wouldn't be able to use inside this project. Okay. Then you at this point, your setup should be something like that: the Explorer with this file and the Windsurf clean state here. Okay. I'm going to start vibing now. Maybe put some background music. No, not much now. I'm going to start vibe coding. That is using this button, the Cascade sidebar, and this should be your coder, your manager, your IT assistant, maybe even your teacher from now on. The agent powered by the models that we have access to, that we can get through the credits, the Windsurf Pro credits. Using the tool callings functionalities baked in this application, the agent tools, the code indexing, the vector database for the code, and all those two together now empower you to build anything on top of this scaffolding initial boilerplate code. It allows you to understand and even learn how to code, how to create the apps by using the combination of those LLMs, the tools, and the context that we're passing. I would ask for some of you to give me a very beginner question. Like, if you are still confused, looking at me like, what is going on? Yeah, this perfect look. Yeah, ask me a very beginner question.
I want to know what the page, I'm trying to get back to the page where you have the links to download stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to get that stuff.
So the vibe-flow, luma.com-vibe-flow. luma.com/vibe-flow. Then you have the content there. This should be the page you use it to sign up today, right? Yeah. Actually, Colin put out another page called Vibe Space today just for she reserved it. I guess most of you came from that on the Luma page, right? Yeah. Did you manage to access it?
I don't know. The internet seems to be super slow right now.
Oh my.
It's like 20% loaded.
You can wait a little. I was asking for you to give me a basic question, because before we start doing code, the main functionality for beginners that we can get out of this would
I
be
use the terminal.
yeah, good. Would be
What does CD mean? What does LS mean?
nice. What the meaning of life? 42. So would be, instead of using code that is the default, that is usually a developer wants to code, right? What developers do? They drink coffee, they do soccer arms, and they code. So these are the three main things. We don't chat that much, right? But I would suggest going through chat. This is the initial point for a beginner vibe coder, because then I can use this context of this LLMS full and figure out what is going on. So if you're looking at me confused, what's flow, what's the D app, what are you using mean stuff, what this file, why I'm here, when the food is going to get, most of these questions can be answered through the chat, except the last one. Colin, do you have an ETA for the burritos? Did you order the burrito? The ETA?
That's on the way. It'll be here at 3 o'clock.
Nice. We did a small break at 3. 3, yeah. So with the chat, again, if you are remotely, the burritos are not provided, okay? You got to order your own. So in the chat mode, you're going to add context with the @ symbol, like this @. And you're going to start typing the name of the file, LLMS.txt. You're going to pick this file, and this is going to give access. It's going to point your chat with the model. It's going to give access to all of the content of this file, so that when the model is answering something for you, it's going to use the pointers and the instructions inside this LLMS full.txt file to guide the generation. Okay. Have you ever experienced hallucination when using AI models?
Psilocybin.
Yeah. The best models out there, they still give wrong information. Fix this, fix that. And then it says, I'm sorry, I forgot this detail. I wiped your whole code base.
Is there a way that we can embed the LLMS full text directly into the agent, into the environment? Because if we open up another chat, won't it lose that context?
Yeah, we need to attach again. But I would recommend that, because you don't want to flood the AI with a lot of context all the time.
Okay.
So for a beginner, this is more like beginner level, I would suggest attaching the context strategically whenever you need the context. And there are things that we're going to do, like deploy this to Vercel. I don't need this context. It could confuse the AI. I could use an MCP server to get the documentation from Vercel, and now there are other ways for managing context, okay? So remember, chat, not code. We're not going to code for now. We're going to ask a question, a very beginner question. Anyone here would like to supply me a very beginner question about what we're doing? Probably have a lot of them. Yeah.
Download this file.
Yeah, I can show you that. Not that content. You can go for scaffold ETH, scaffoldeth.io, the link that I have in the page, and then you download this file here. Igmar is going to search for the answers for those questions. So this is the file that I would suggest you to use. You can even copy everything, like Ctrl+C, Ctrl+A, Ctrl+C, or Command+A, Command C if you have a Mac, and then you paste it inside of your IDE. The name, yeah, you can even create a new file like my stuff.txt. The name of the file is not that important. Just remember to include this in the chat when you're doing the conversation with AI. Okay. Yeah.
Could you please repeat what that TXT file for?
So it's for adding context.
Okay.
Instead of actually learning how to code with blockchain, we are going to use a very well packed amount of knowledge, very well structured amount of knowledge, and give that for the AI so that the AI stops hallucinating or reduce the chance of hallucination a lot. Okay.
And would you get that GitHub result repository link?
It is in the Luma page.
Okay.
The repository should be in this link, in this button called GitHub.
Okay.
Then you should be able to do it. Yeah, here.
So how did you download that document, the LMS?
You can,
Click on it and then save it as a document?
yeah, you can right click and save as a document.
Oh, okay.
But also there is a very easy way that you can open it and then Command A, using a Command A should select everything, and then Command C you copy, and then you can paste inside a new file in your IDE. If you find it,
I have to create that file.
yeah, there is a little button here that you can use to create the file.
Okay.
The-
And how do I get that window open? I can't see what's get cascaded.
Here in you look on the left side of the settings gear, you should be able to open that. Yeah, and
Mine just says warming up for the last 5 minutes.
oh,
So, no.
have you tried turning it off and on again?
As in just-
Closing stuff and opening again? Question?
So with the LLMs, the background
This is the side of the property structure.
That's a valid question. Can we use this file to create smart contracts using AI, using generative AI models for code? Then the generative AI model is going to search this file, is going to try to find the correct pieces on it, and is going to answer. It is doing this reasoning that they call thinking. It's not super accurate. You can let it slide. And then it's searching the correct fragments inside the file. So it's managing context, not giving too much context at the same time. And then it's composing an output for us. What was your question again?
Does that file allow you to apply for this smart contract?
So the question is this file allowing us to vibe code the smart contract? Let's see the answer for the AI. So analyzing this file, the answer is yes, absolutely. This file is perfectly suited for helping general models create smart contracts within the scaffold ETH2 framework. Here is what it provides: smart contract context, front-end integration patterns, complete development workflow, and some how to use guidelines. Thank you very much for your question. This is a perfect experimentation on what chatting with AI can do for you now. I used it to teach this kind of stuff through weeks. A mosquito just died there. It happens with me all the time as well. Maybe you should do a minute of silence. If you're watching this stream, you might not have any idea of what's going on. You see that the mosquito blew up in a wire there. So going back to what I was explaining, I use it to take weeks to explain this kind of basics on writing the apps in smart contracts. And now we kind of can skip it, but actually we can't. I'm going to speak about that later. But for developing of us the app, you can skip most of the training and do the AI do the work for us. And it works. You can chat with the AI, you can ask your question there. Before going live, since these kind of applications, they usually involve monetary payments, data, and relevant information from people, I wouldn't suggest going live without understanding what you're doing. like having real users here. But imagine that you can validate your pain, you can validate your project, validate the pain that you're solving with your solution, even before you worry with all of the formal education. This can give you even more desire and looking for this word, appetite. It can drive you to actually learn the whole things because now you are driven by the solution, right, that you want to create. So this is my objective today with vibe coding. You can skip a lot of the actual training, understanding of how to build smart contracts and go directly to the fun part of vibing it and seeing the solution unveil in front of you just by chatting in English with an AI. Okay. Sounds good. I guess this is a good realization of the objective here. So right now you can ask any questions. If you have a question of like, what's a terminal? Chat with it. What is a code terminal? What is a CLI? So these kind of questions you don't need to feed the context for the AI because they would be able to answer with their own knowledge. But whenever you're speaking about the blockchain stuff, I would suggest adding this file to the context. Okay. Yeah.
Wouldn't that use up your tokens?
Yeah, it does use my tokens. Yes.
So it'd be better maybe to use another service that you may already have to us.
Yeah. If you are paying for another service already, yes. But here we also have contextual information. So in the context of your scaffold ETH2 file, the documents reference to CLI are this and that and that, so it's contextual. And the good part is that it has actions. It's agentic workflow, so it has actions to search for the files that are important. So you don't need to know the files are important. This is something that a lot of beginners get frustrated with because there's so many things happening around you that you don't know what you should pay attention to. No, there are warnings that you should ignore, but there are configuration files that you should pay attention to. And no one tells you that on the beginning. So it can be overwhelming. With this kind of tools, they're going to understand what you are trying to build. So you don't need to worry that much with what you should pay attention to or not. They kind of can navigate through this. Okay. Good. Any other questions? So let's start with a valid question here, like going forward question. I'm going to give this LLMS full TXT, and I'm going to ask a question. Okay, I have this all downloaded here because a guy asked me to. Now, how do I get started? A very valid question, right? Maybe you could explain what you're trying to build. I'm trying to build an app, a social media app that people can buy my old stuff, that they can buy my art, or that I can tokenize my social media posts, also that I can do a new social media app. You're going to explain the pain that you're trying to solve, maybe your app idea. So we are not coding it, we're just chatting, okay, in the chat mode. It's not the default, but I would suggest starting from here. And look, getting started with scaffold ETH. Let me check what you currently have in your workspace. Oh, you already have the scaffold ETH2 installed. Yes, I cloned the repository. So how to get started? You need to run 3 commands in 3 separate terminals. Step 1, open your first terminal and start a local blockchain. Open a second terminal to deploy the contracts, and open a third terminal to start the front end. Okay? This is I could do this whole explanation for you from the beginning, but what I'm trying to say is that now this chat mode, if we ended this session now, just with this amount of knowledge, let's say 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes of explanation, we had a presentation at the beginning as well. With this amount of presentation, you are good on yourself already, because now you know how to chat with AI, how to ask the correct questions, and how to give it context for it not to hallucinate, okay? So we're going to go over this in a while, just showing the tooling. The chat mode can give you instructions on where to go next. Okay. And the first thing that I would suggest you go next as a teacher, not as an AI suggestion, it would be checking the prerequisites. Okay. So if you ask this question, how to get started, and it gave these prerequisites, or you can ask, what are the prereqs for getting started with this project? Would you give you something? Now I would suggest you to go to the code mode. It's going to have agentic capabilities on your IDE. And I'm going to ask, check if I have my prerequisites in place. Check if I have all of these prereqs in place. The agent, the coding agent here, not only can code for us, but it can execute things on our machines. You should review what the agent is doing. But for example, I can click on run this, run that, and run that. It's going to figure out that I have these dependencies installed already. The AI now can read the output from these commands, can suggest more commands. Yes, I have node is installed here, nice. So you can run this command for checking the version of node. And it even made a table that's quite cool. Determined that I have the correct dependencies for this project. It would need node, yes. It would need yarn, yes. And it would need git, yes. I have all of these three installed, okay? If you want to install these on your computer, you can ask the AI, install my missing prerequisites in this project. It would install node, then you would do Corepack enable for you to have yarn. It would install git. Maybe you would need to do approval or two here or there, and you would have that ready for you to run. Okay. If you went through the last sessions this week, or if you're watching through the channel here and did that in other sessions already, you should have all of these tools installed on your computer. Okay. Any questions here? Yes.
Yeah, so two quick ones. One is about the LLMs or the PSP. How is that different from, say, like block or MD, or is it
The log what? Sorry?
the same as block.md? You can use a plug or
Yeah, Windsurf is similar to Cursor.
I'm looking at the specific file, the LLMs for the PSP. Is that the same thing as Cursor?
It's a little different. Here we are passing a file. The Cursor rules, and I could create Windsurf rules, or would inject these rules inside the agent itself. This is a little more advanced, not a big deal, but it's a little more advanced. Here is a very beginner-friendly way. Just drop that in the context, you can figure out what to do.
Sorry. Second question real quick. So you mentioned that scaffold is for period, right? So how does that work? You work with that flow.
It's compatible. I'm going to show today that it's compatible. I'm going to guide to the steps. We're going to have a wallet. It's going to be VM compatible. In the next sessions, we might do the advanced beginner version of the VM compatible guide. Okay.
Sorry, did you have to write? Did you have to tell it that we're using this LMS slash folder text as a file?
Yes, with this at. Put at, and then you do LLMS.txt.
And that just means making the this.
And then I'm here on the chat mode. I was in the chat mode asking questions, and now I went to the code mode asking it to do a prereq check on my computer. Okay.
So whenever you add a new document that you want to understand,
Look at, yes.
that's all.
Yeah. You can also do from this plus sign your workflows, put images. You can do more stuff as well.
I don't have to say anything.
Yes.
File, and it automatically understands what it needs to do.
Yeah. Unless the AI decides to ignore this, but sometimes happen. So everything inside LMS, full going back to the previous question, should be enough for us to do anything flow. But also, if you want to use Cadence, that is the smart contract language for Flow, it's more advanced. It is possible. I would point all the kind of documentation for you to feed the AI. There are even some directions for that in the documentation. Okay, in the docs, if you go for the vibe coding prize, vibe coding, best vibe coding project. So how to get started with Flow AI. And then it's a little more advanced, but not that much. You could, for example, use Cloud Code, you could use Cursor, you could use ChatGPT, and use this knowledge base. Would be a different knowledge base than Scaffolded, but you would download this data source and you would feed it for your documentation as well. So you could have the Cadence knowledge for your AI to use inside the project. Okay.
I'm just wondering, is it possible then to use the one that's designed for E to get an AI to read that and say, can you make this compatible and make it for Cadence, and then just work that?
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm pointing to do. So for example, if you download this file with the rules for the NFTs in Cadence and all, you can even join both. Scaffold is using hard hats and VM that they can allow you to use the smart contracts from Flow. There are 2 weeks to explain how to do that step by step for a programmer. Now the AI can do that quite well. Not 100% well, but like 85% well. This is yeah. And we should have time. We have more 2 hours, 1 hour and a half to do this. So I'm going to guide. I think we're going to have the app. It's going to look beautiful. A lot of good visuals are coming. Okay. If I have questions, we start with the actual building. I can ask how to open my terminal. Question. How to open my terminal in Windsurf. So there is a command J, Control J that you can do it. Anything similar to VS Code. So you should be able to do this command, backtick, or the type, or do the menu and all, or you can just do the shortcut, and this is your terminal here. Okay, the backtick, Command J or Control J, you should see your terminal here. Okay, let me decrease this one there. Do you see that on your computer? You can do Command J or Control J.
Does everybody know how to install prerequisites in NPM or any of those? I can help you. So,
yeah, any bugs. They should give you a lot of comments to run on your computer. Hopefully it's not going to be in virus, but if they go wrong, we have a volunteer to help fixing it. Okay. Any questions? Are we good here with the terminal? For example, if you run ls, those 2 commands in your terminal, just that L and S, list files. You should see the files inside that folder. Try that right now. Just keep your terminal as well. Question here? Fudge Black Dark or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a different. I think it's different.
Oh yeah, this is because I'm using Ubuntu, and my terminal is the ZSH. If you're using Mac, it might be like the normal. Oh, oh yeah, I tweaked a little yeah. I don't even remember how I did that. I did that like two years ago. I was using, and then I kind of copied. Okay, we're going to do a quick break, 10 minutes or so. I'm going to put the music here in the live in the meantime, because the food has arrived, so we can fix those environment configurations in our computers. We're going to do a little break in the meantime. Let me put the music here. Okay.
Who's in the back over there?
Okay. So getting started. 1 minute. Maybe you want to return to your seats, get your computer. Maybe wash your fingers first. Input sauce over your keyboards, right? And we start. And let's give it a minute, and then we start. Okay. How's it going for everyone so far?
We have to make sure everybody's got their environment. There's like 7 people that haven't set up their environment.
If you haven't set up your environment, raise your hand. 1,
Well,
1.5.
You setting up his.
Yeah, I'm setting up mine.
Who doesn't have all the tools installed in VM and that stuff?
It's just NPM for now.
No,
3,
4 people.
4 people. Yeah. Let me give a couple more minutes.
Windows version manager allows you to switch between different.
Since your Telegram chat link, let's see if it works.
I'm just thinking now that you still essays being AI. That's
Okay. So 1 hour of introduction, setup, 20 minutes break. Burritos were great. To have some waffles, some environment configurations. If you're still going through your environment configurations, if you are remotely and don't see your comments, you can ask questions live. You could pick them here. If you are here with us in person, what I would suggest is, as we vibe through, as we go through scaffold E2, with this step by step, the agent will guide us to do this kind of comments, and then we're going to see if we accept or reject now. And the agents would be able to troubleshoot most of the problems for you. If you get something different, like version errors, not compiling and all, might be a little more difficult, but usually, like, forgot this configuration, forgot to run this and all, we are going to go over it easily. My suggestion is, if you want to pair up with someone beside you, like pair and then you follow along, that could go well, because you kind of have 1 hour and 10 minutes to go over the content, so that we have enough time to get hands-on experimentation today, okay? Trying to cap this at 3 hours if possible. So, what we're doing here today, now that we have this environment, if you can go to your terminal and say ls, if you go to your terminal and if you say ls, this should be enough for you to see if you have access to your environment, running comments there and all. And we're going to do these comments that the AI suggests us to run. So, how to get started? I can ask this in the question. How to get started with this project? And then tag the LLMS.txt. We asked this a while ago, remember? Suggestion 1, suggestion 2, suggestion 3. So we're going to execute these 3 suggestions in the terminal. Just because if the AI is doing that for us, it can be a little tricky. But if we do it directly, we can manage this as a developer, as a technical person, right? You open your terminal, you execute commands there, you almost feel like a hacker, right? This kind of vibes. So ask this question for the AI. How to get started with this project? The AI is going to suggest you 3 steps for opening those terminals, okay? Ask this. See if you have the same answer as I do. And remember to tag the LLMS, okay? So the first command that I'm going to run in this terminal is this yarn chain. And if you don't have yarn installed, one of the dependencies of this project, you might need to run this command, core pack enable. Okay, question?
Sorry, I was just wondering, I didn't get the original prompt just to complete building.
Yeah.
What was that?
How to get started with this project, and then you tag LLMS full txt.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I didn't realize. I thought that document was just saying how to architect any app.
No,
That's a specific app.
specific for this project, yes, for scaffolding, that you can build any kind of D apps on top of it, right?
Okay.
So if you don't have yarn, you need to do like core pack enable. This command should be very quick to run. Also have node, and then you can do yarn chain. This command yarn chain is going to start a whole blockchain on your machine. I have a problem here. I know what this problem is. Whenever you have this problem in your computer, you can even copy that and paste for the chat. It's going to teach you how to debug. In this situation, it's just that I forgot to run that command there before when it asked it. We should do a command before anything that is npm n of nose, p of power, m of Mary, npm I
that is install. This should install a lot of things on your computer. Should install the dependencies, a bunch more of files, a bunch more of things. Oh my God, did you have an error here? Interesting. Cannot resolve the dependency tree. That's beautiful. Yeah, usually this doesn't happen. So npm install is a package manager. npm is a package manager that should be able to deal with all of your files. Okay, in this situation, it's not behaving very well, so I'm going to use yarn. So yarn install, yarn, the same one that was suggested here, another package manager might go through all of those dependencies correctly. I hope. It's a terminal comment. I know that feels like hacky, but believe me or not, this is the very beginner level for getting started with your project, okay? So that is going to configure your environment for running the things. Install a lot of things on your computer. All of the files are going to be stored inside a folder called node models. It's going to be a big folder with a lot of things there, but you don't need to worry with uninstalling these files later. It's all going to be inside the folder. Then later you can just delete that folder and get rid of that project. You don't want it anymore, okay? Yeah, yarn is working for me. So try to do that yarn and install. It should go through the whole thing on your computer. Okay. Anyone still stuck there? You had the problems with your environment, right? Did you get the yarn to run? Not yet. Node is running. Oh.
I suggest you give them a Docker that they can install, because like setting up 7 or 8 different pieces of software is like slowing a lot of the people down. So just consider it as having a Docker with all the.
Yeah, thank you very much for the recommendation.
That's what I do when I do my classes.
Yeah. Do you guys usually run Docker, by the way?
I do.
Do you have Docker on your computer? Yeah. So,
For my teams at Berkeley.
yeah. So maybe Node is going to be easier to deal here with than Docker.
Oh, right.
Did it install? So the password is the same when you log into Apple. That's their Apple password.
What was the name of all of it?
MetaMask. We're going to get there. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yarn is not installing because did you open up the NPM software?
You guys have those transactions.
We are going to use a test network for that. Pretty sure. This is exactly the step we're doing. Okay. So for some reason, it took me 2 minutes to install that repository, all the dependencies. Okay. Remember that anytime you have questions, you can even go here to the chat, like, what is yarn? And it's going to tell you, yarn is a package manager that can do plug and play dependencies using the version 2 and all. It solves the problem of managing the packages or dependencies. So at any point that you have these kind of questions, you can even ask the AI directly, okay? Not because I'm lazy and that I don't want to teach. It's not like that. It's just that sometimes you need fast answers, especially if you're watching this video later, you don't have all of this context. You could use this chat tab to go to it, okay? Now that I have it installed, I skipped that step earlier, sorry about that. Now I can do that command that was suggested a while ago. The command that is yarn chain. Yarn chain should start a whole blockchain in my computer. Isn't it cool? A whole blockchain, Ethereum compatible blockchain. It's going to be very lightweight, but it's going to be able to process blocks and transactions. But the thing is that it only runs in my machine, so you cannot pay people with that. But as soon as you run this command, let me show you the terminal here. As soon as you run this command, you are going to have a lot of accounts created on your computer, and each of those accounts, they would have 1,000 ETH on each. You know how much ETH is worth nowadays?
2000?
I don't know, 2000, 2000 something. Now we're speaking about almost millions of dollars in a computer. Is that a hack? Are we all millionaires now? If you weren't before, you guys seems very well done. So this is a fake blockchain. It's first to emulate transactions. These are, it's even more of a sandbox than a test net. It's just a local network for us to play with. Okay, and it's going to be living there in that tab. If I type anything here, it's not going to work. My terminal is blocked. I cannot do like ls. I cannot do anything. Okay, only if I do like Control C or Command C, then I stop on the blockchain. But once I run this command, I cannot use anything on this terminal anymore.
Next.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. So once you run one of these commands in your terminal, you cannot use that terminal anymore. You need to leave it running there. So this is why you need to click on this button for having new terminals or splitting terminals that can work as well. You can click here to have two terminals. I have one here running Node with this blockchain going, and I can have this other terminal for us to run other things. For example, I can run this command that is suggesting yarn deploy. Question, why to run yarn deploy? It's going to deploy smart contract to the local blockchain. You're going to see the deployment addresses and gas costs printed out. This is like the initial setup for this project. I'm going to see some transactions going through my blockchain, and this is going to emulate the environment. Yes, I have it there. The command executed. Is anyone facing errors running this command so far? If you have your environment installed? Okay, quick trick. If you have any errors, let's say you do, let me do a type like this, and then you have this problem. At any time you can copy the error and then click in this button, send the chat, and then you ask like, what is wrong here? Then it's going to read from the terminal, and it's going to just say, oh, the user did a typo. So instead of yarn deploy, you should do yarn deploy. Okay. So any errors that you have, you can even send that to the chat, and the chat itself might guide you on how to solve those issues. Okay. Let me give it a walk around the room to see what's going. I'm installing. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Okay, it seems that the common problem is that people didn't have Homebrew installed, which is the biggest issue. So one thing for your notes is to make sure they have Homebrew installed on Macintosh.
It's a Mac thing, right?
Yeah, it's Macintosh, yeah. You're on Linux, right? Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay.
Like everybody
Who's using Mac here? Everyone's okay.
Every man is using the Macintosh.
Every single one is using Mac here. That's amazing.
I've been running around installing Homebrew and NVM on everybody's machine. Great. Okay, so you looked at your documents.
Make sure homebrews yourself first.
Also, Apple actually install a lot of they offer these stuff and they install grids and stuff. And it doesn't come pre-installed. There's a lot of Apple and Apple. And then they charge you the $500.
I think it's
Yeah, and you guys use Apple.
but this is actually a good offer that's gonna solve a lot.
That is the dog, for example, the orange shakes, and dog, and you should do a lot of force. Some of the force, someone and we are going to need those force.
You got to figure out Yarn installed an Apple. Yarn run test. Well, we can run. Is Yarn installed now? Oh, it's still running here.
Okay, any errors, you can try and send those to the terminal. From the terminal actually to the chat, and the AI might be able to vibe with it with you. Now is the magical moment. Now is the time that you're going to have the app working, and you're going to vibe on top of it. It might be a little of a hill climb to get there, but when we are there, the view is great. Let's run the third and last comment. That is the Yarn start. Yarn start. This is going to scaffold the whole application using the blockchain, local blockchain that we are connected, and the smart contracts that we have deployed, so that I can access it in my local network and start vibing, start jamming with the AI. Let me close those other tabs. I'm going to go straight to it. You should pick your terminal. Can be a third terminal or the same window that you did the deploy command, and run this yarn start command, and then enter in your local host. Localhost 3000 is a website that's going to be hosted inside your own computer, and with it, you should be able to access the application. It should take a while to compile, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe my computer is slow today. But once it compiles, you're going to have the whole application there. Let me go around. Questions? Comments. Okay, good.
You will then install the latest version of We'll install the latest version of the app. Once that's done, you can type NPM and it gives you answers instead of the command line. Then you know it's right. Then you do the second command, NPM -G yarn, install yarn. And then you have yarn. And then you do yarn run test. So it's free stuff. Okay.
That makes sense.
You just have to copy it into the command line. Insert this step. On the top left, right hand corner, there's a box with the under box. There's a left hand box with the under box. He said it, you can oh, you do not show run if you have back order. Ready? What's your USL? All right, who's running Windows? How many people are running Windows? Microsoft Windows. How many people are operating system is Windows? Okay, so if you're not running Windows subsystem for Linux, you're not going to be able to get access to NPM natively. So they have to install the Windows subsystem for Linux, or again, use Docker like I said. Yeah, but he doesn't have the command line. It's very different. It's all powerful. You want to do it? Go ahead. No. I would take forever. Powerful. This guy here on the end there. And then her. Yeah. I'm just following. I do teach here. I also have a laboratory in that. You want to go or you want to buy? Yeah. I mean, I guess you just no. Yeah, I did think that was, oh yeah. I have not tried Okay. You're going to over a bit. You don't like. Yeah. So you're building it. You can build it. That's it. Yeah, like maybe went down. Obviously, someone
Okay. So, a lot of troubleshooting back and forth. Apple's and homegirls in the role. But finally, we have the app here in a local host. Localhost 3000, you should be able to see this app in your computer. If you install the dependencies with yarn, you run yarn chain, deploy the smart contract, and do yarn start, wait a little for it to compile, you should have this app ready on your local host for you to use. Okay, do you want me to repeat that? So this is the result of getting started with Scaffold ETH when you run it on your computer. When you finish compiling and building it, you should have this app, which is the standalone app, the initial version of the app for Scaffold ETH, which is going to have a block explorer that can view all the blocks inside your computer. It's going to have the debug contracts page that you can see the kind of programs, the kind of applications you have inside your computer in this local blockchain. And you have the whole environment for creating wallets, connecting to wallets and all. This is the initial point for Scaffold ETH. Okay. Go for localhost 3000 after starting your app, and you should see it running there. You should see this sample application. And this should allow you to connect with your Web3 wallet, your identity in the network. Do you guys have bank wallets, like bank apps that you can transfer and receive cash out there? So who controls that database of these bank apps? Yeah, why don't they can just put like $1 billion for all of them there? After all, it's a database, right? It's binary. What stops a bank, a manager to go there and just put, I have $3 billion?
It's called reality.
Yeah.
The other banks won't recognize it.
The other banks won't recognize it. So that is a whole social construction in place with regulation, laws, governments, and all, making this stand based on human interaction, on courts. You could sue someone, you could persecute, you could arrest based on this fraud, right? Is this system 100% fair? Like it works 100% well, never crashes, never have bubbles, right? So the guys that invented this in 2008, or maybe the girls, it's anonymous, they were thinking on a financial structure that could run transactions without needing banks, something called blockchain. Started with a paper called the peer-to-peer electronic cash system with a network called Bitcoin that would allow these kind of transactions to go without even requiring a coordination, human coordination. This is something called a blockchain, a network that can process transactions without middlemen, without humans in the loop. We still need humans to coordinate the hardware and the electricity for it to run. Of course, it's not run on alien power, but it's based on some technological primitives of cryptography. Yeah, it's not human-less. It still need humans in the loop, but it runs on some technological primitives like cryptography and all that would allow this system to work without humans in the loop, and still we would trust it. Okay. It sounds complicated, cryptography and hashes and transactions and blocks and all of that. But actually the process is going to be very simple because we're going to install one browser extension called MetaMask. There are many wallet extensions out there that you could use. MetaMask is one of the most beginner friendly out there. You're going to install this extension in your browser. Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Comment, whatever you're using, you can install this extension and create one account there. It's not like a bank account that you need to have identity, documents, pay, sign contracts and all. It's going to be a digital wallet where all of your possessions, all of your permissions inside this wallet is going to be governed by your password. And a very important detail over that is that no one can ever recover your password here. Only you and yourself would have the custody, would care for this file, for this password, because no one else can recover this password for you. So if you happen to accumulate thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, or even billions of dollars, but if you forget your password, it's gone. It's gone. You're not going to recover it. There's no one that you can call. The managers, they cannot recover this wallet for you. When you create this wallet, the only thing that you have is a seed phrase. And then when you put your password, you're going to see that you have some assets, probably 0 to begin with. It's going to be probably showing 0 to begin with. And you're going to have an address here in the top, but this is your identity. This is who you are in the blockchain. It's not going to have your name, your address, your ID on it or nothing, but it's going to be your entry point, your mask for interacting with the network. And then we can come here for this website, Scaffold ETH, and we can click in this button. It's probably going to be like that for you. Let's connect. This connect. It's probably going to be like that for you. After you install MetaMask, you should be able to connect the wallet. MetaMask, my version is a little different. MetaMask Flask has a little more colors. But when you connect it, you click that button, you connect, it should be able to show your balance, your address, your identity here. And there is a button here that I love to click. This button, which would allow me to get money. Every time I click, I get a little more money. And I could be clicking this button all day. It feels so good. The only downside of here is that it's fake money. It only exists in my computer. But I'm going to show you how to connect that to a real blockchain. A testnet in this case, not like real money, but it's going to be real fake money. Yeah, that we can do. A real fake money that we can transact, monopoly money that we can send for each other, right? And we're going to even start building on top of it. So this is why we're going to do the EVM compatible first in the same network and all, and then we're going to see the whole potential of it. And if later we want to try Cadence, we can point the documentation, but this should be the starting point, okay? See if you can do that. Connect your wallet, install MetaMask on your computer, on your browser, create an identity, and see if you can connect it to this network and ask some transactions here. Okay. Let me go around and see how hard it is. Good question. So when we're setting up the environment, and I'm giving more time here because in the MacBooks a little tricky without Homebrew. When you are setting up your environment, you should run those 3 commands: yarn chain in one terminal, yarn deploy, and then yarn start. When you run yarn start, it might take 2-3 minutes. Took me a while for some reason, like 14 seconds to compile this and then more to compile that. It might take a couple minutes, and then you should be able to access this website in your localhost 3000. Okay.
Stars is anything. I just think. No, one of the. If you have money, this can be. No, it's one of the ones.
Just never ever put money for that, because the same thing that we have here, everyone has. Everyone will do it. Because if you send money to this wallet in the future, oh, let's use this wallet just for convenience. Then you should be able to get everything, right?
I see it. So let me, I'll go up to there.
Yeah. Just so that you don't forget. Yeah, let me see that in my calculation.
Okay, a very important disclaimer. Pay attention here. I was assuming that no one has ETH wallets on it and MetaMask now, but if you do have Ethereum wallet, MetaMask installed on your browser, something, use another wallet, another browser, or create another profile inside the same browser, because even though we are using it in the testnet, your private keys, your signature, the mnemonic phrases now are the same. So if you do something wrong with that file, with that wallet, sign a wrong transaction now, you could lose real money if you have that in the mainnet of some chain. Okay, so
Everybody set up a demo wallet.
yeah,
Lose your real money.
if you happen to have real money, I was assuming that everyone was new to Web3 here. Sorry. If you do have a wallet, create a new one for today's workshop. Okay. Let's see if I have questions here in the chat. Okay. Hello, Eric. Woot woot. Okay.
This is my wallet address integration. That's what you do. That's one of the best things about this thing. So, but yeah, don't check the repo in with your private key.
And the normal way that we would go from here would be opening this file inside package next.js app.page.tsx and make the changes on it, like packages, next.js, app, page.tsx. So if I make some change here, like put like potato here. If I make this change inside this file, now it's going to appear here in the page the word potato, if I did it correctly. Let me see, yeah, here. Look, so this is a traditional way of editing those files, like a coder. I would open the actual source code and type on it, like the ancient developers used to do last year, okay? But now we are in 2025, the age of vibe coding. We are not going to manually write the lines of code anymore. No one does that anymore. That's boring. We're going to just vibe with it. So I'm going to pick a new chat, new tab, chat with the AI. I'm going to even close that file. Close the file, close. I'm going to take the code. I'm going to pick the code agent. I'm not asking questions. I can even hide my terminal. I don't need it now. I'm going to add the context of the LLMS.txt. Okay. And I'm going to add some change. Are we vibe coding smart contracts? Not yet. We're vibe coding the app, but we're going to get there. So, do you see here how I can see the address of the wallet? If I disconnect my wallet, I don't see the address anymore. And then if I click on connect wallet, I can see the address there. This is already integrated out of the box on Scaffold ETH, right? Just make sure that you can replicate this on your side as well. Okay, address here. I can make changes to it. For example, let's ask to display the balance of the connected address below the address. Let's just ask like that. display the balance of the connected wallet under the address. Display the balance of the connected wallet under the address. I'm giving the context of the LLMS full.txt. I could use advanced prompt techniques, prompt engineering techniques like make no mistake. Okay, this kind of technique, just kidding. Prompt engineering techniques would be something like that. Specify the file, where it is for the print, act like you are a senior blockchain developer now. But I'm going to just vibe with it, one shot. Display the balance of the connected wallet under the address. What address? I'm not giving that much of a direction here. But because this is a thinking model and it has access to those tools of searching documentation, reading the page.tsx, reading the documentation now, it could find out, look at this, people. It could find out that you should add this line of code in green. Who understands TypeScript here? One person, Igmar. Who else? 2, 3. If you don't understand TypeScript, don't worry. You just have a new line of code here that it could accept. Yeah, looks right. And then I have this new line of code here doing this. Any one of you here understand what is happening in the code? Maybe not, right? But don't worry, just accept all the changes. Then we go for the website, and here we have the balance. Beautiful. I can even click on it and it becomes dollars. $10,000. Let me get a little more. Juice it up. I love clicking this button. This is like a central bank should feel like that, you know, when they click a button and then go brrr. Should feel good. Anyone work in central banks here? No, okay. We vibed a new feature, a new piece of the app, just by asking it in English with some specific techniques, with some very specific software. Isn't it cool? Questions here? What's happening? All of a sudden, we're fighting against a few minutes ago, we were fighting against our environment, and all of a sudden, we are vibe coding cool new features in the app. Try disconnecting your wallet and connecting it again. Like disconnect and connect again in my work. Like, yeah. Should be like a 3-hour session kind of thing, but it's good. We could solve most of the environment problems, right? It's here in the Loom already. So the live is going. You can even find it here. You can go back, see the details. Let's add a new thing, like add an emoji that gets more happy as I have more money in the wallet. It's going to be like a sad face, and as I click that faucet money to get more money, maybe the emoji is going to get better. Okay. You got a point now. You can have those crazy ideas of what you want to build on your app, the utility that you want to do, NFTs, social media apps and all. And now we can just vibe with AI explaining what you want, and the AI should be able to implement that. Okay. So I'm very rich. Let me get another wallet here, a burner wallet. A burner wallet is interesting because every time that I connect my wallet, it gets a new address. So it's like that. It's not happy. Let me start clicking to add funds on the faucet. It's getting happier. Okay, let's keep clicking. Yay! It's laughing a lot now. We'll get more. Yeah. Okay. Did we code anything? Did we write a line of code? We did some comments in the terminal. Yes, that can be a little overwhelming, especially if you don't have Homebrew installed for some reason. I'm not familiar with Apple, sorry. But after that, it's just writing. You can kind of ask what you want to build, and the AI should be able to handle it. Okay. Good. The thing is, if I try to do that in the Ethereum blockchain, in the default network for this app, in the Ethereum blockchain, it might be a little more costly, especially when we try to run programs here. When we try to do computation over this money, you can have business rules. Oh, a member card where you can only enter this club. Let's say we want to have access to this space. We'd let you a rave tonight, but you can only enter the rave if in your wallet you have more than 20 tokens, like makerspace token, something like that. Or if you have a special NFT, a non-fungible token, like a collectible. You can program these kind of functionalities on the top of the blockchain with the technology called smart contracts. Which is funny because smart contracts are not even smart and they are not contracts as well. It's just a terminology that they got. So the things that we are doing with applications here, coding on TypeScript, we could code in the blockchain itself. But when we try to do that directly on the Ethereum blockchain, it can be messy, can be dangerous, especially if you don't know Solidity and try to go that directly. Solidity is kind of a difficult language. We have the proposal of Cadence to streamline this process. So there are a lot of benefits of exploring all the networks. Today, we're going to use Flow, as we mentioned in the beginning, with the Flow developer documentation. So this is the second link in this bullet point. And instead of doing all of those changes ourselves to connect with Flow, I'm going to ask AI to vibe it for us, okay? Don't get me wrong, the Flow documentation is great. All the links is visually good and all, but we are not going to read the Flow documentation today. We are going to ask the AI. We are going to go over this vertical, the EVM, for us to plug in. If you want to understand the cadence part, you can go here as well. But for today, we're going to go for the EVM, and we're going to go for this EVM quick start. Okay. So pay a lot of attention so that you know where the link I'm using, or where to get that link. Go to the Flow developer documentation, and then go for the scroll down. We're going to land in this page, beautiful documentation, very well written and all. Scroll down and you are going to go for the EVM quick start. Okay, that should be a drop-in replacement for everything that we're doing. Okay, and here we have the explanation. Flow is an EVM equivalent blockchain that combines the advantage of Flow, including the security, low cost of gas, native VRF, and many others. Some of you were asking exactly that. What is Flow? What's the blockchain? How to use here? So this is exactly the moment where we get the documentation and understand why we're doing that with Flow today. So it was vibing. Now we have the base point set up, how we're going to plug Flow in. So we're going to copy this block of information, the testnet, the name and the value, the network name, description, RCP endpoint, chain ID, and all. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to WindSurf. I'm going to open a new conversation, manage context, try to keep the context short. Go there for the documentation of flow, EV, copy the block of testnet, and now we're going to attach the LMS TXT so that your GPT knows about the documentation of scaffold ETH. We are going to ask instruction, configure scaffold ETH to point to the flow. We're going to use something called testnet, which is a copy of the mainnet, but you don't need to pay for the tokens. They are for free. You can use them freely, like a sandbox for you to code on top. So I'm going to ask, configure the scaffold ETH to point to the flow testnet using these configurations. And then you paste the configurations here. The AI will understand. The LLMs are great at that. You give a lot of slop. Sometimes you even type with typos, things in the middle and all. They can get the patterns. They know what we're going to speak about. So if the AI understand the context, understand my project, and understand these instructions, the AI should be able to find the exact configuration files that need to be changed for pointing your project to the Flow blockchain. Okay. And here we're going to use a technique called hope. We're going to hope that the AI gets it right, okay? Because sometimes it doesn't. Vibe code is like that. It's not deterministic as it should be. Maybe 5 years from now, maybe 1 year from now, maybe next OpenAI dev show this. But as for now, those LLMs, they commit a lot of mistakes. 85% average of the time they do it right. They still mess up like 1 every 6, let's say 3 every 20 times, something like that, average, empirical feeling. And now the AI is doing those changes. So it's going to create a custom, it's saying that it's going to create a custom chain definition for Flow EVM testnet. I'm quite sure you could get that from DM, but okay. Then it's going to update the scaffold config.ts to use the Flow testnet. And then it's going to add the Flow testnet to the hardhat.config.ts for deployment. Okay, makes sense. So it's configuring, it's going forward, adding it to the configuration. Okay, and it's saying what it did. Made a lot of changes to the code. At any point, if AI messes up your code, you can reject the changes. This button rejects all, or you can just vibe with it and accept all. Let's accept all, and let's see if we're connected to the Flow testnet. Let's go for our website. Where is it? Here. Now I'm going to connect my MetaMask wallet. Here, connected. And I do have this amount of flow, okay, because I got it. Let me connect another wallet. Got it from the faucet a while ago. So I'm going to connect another wallet, not my account 1. I'm going to connect my account 2, okay, which has 0 money. But now I don't have the little button to ask for money anymore. This little button would only work in my local testnet network where we had Yarn chain. We're not using it anymore. If you want, you can even close that in a terminal. Can even close this. We don't need this anymore. We only need this one. We don't have this little button to ask money anymore. Okay. So what we are going to do to test this chain now? Should we buy Flow tokens in the exchange? not a financial advice. Okay, if you want to buy the flow tokens, you evaluate this investment yourself. It's possible, but you cannot fund this wallet inside testnet. You would only be able to do that on mainnet, like real money. How to do that then in a testnet? So the same maintainers of this of this documentation, of the dev tooling, the DevRels, they have prepared faucets that you can use to get money. Okay? By the way, if you happen not to have this network, I guess the first time I'm just figuring out, since I have this network in my machine, it didn't ask me. But for the first time that you connect the wallet, you should approve connection to that network. Okay, if you had the second approval check, it's expected. It's going to ask you to approve to connect to the flow testnet. Okay, and then you should click on approve. After you do that, then you can go for this faucet, which is a place that gives you free money. Wonderful place, an application that gives you free money. Oh my God. But it's test money, it's fake money, monopoly money, okay? So what you're going to do is to copy your wallet address. It's here on MetaMask on the top. You can copy your wallet address. Should be here on your scaffold ETH as well. You can copy your wallet address. You see how the little emoji is sad? Oh, please give me flow. I want to vibe with it. I'm going to build a new project in the Forte Hackathon. I have subscribed already. If you haven't, click in this link. So this emoji is a little sad. Let's make it go happy. Let's fund it with 100,000 testnet flow account. That's a lot of testnet. Can deploy billions of smart contracts with this money. So I'm going to prove that I'm human by selecting objects, tapping objects that open and close. Okay. A cat open and close. I guess a cat opens, right? Yeah. This opens and closes. Yeah. See, people, the true meaning of humankind is being able to detect objects that open and close. And I'm going to prove that I'm human. Am I a human? Okay. I thought my mother was lying to me. So now I'm going to click on fund account. This is going to send a truckload of testnet flow tokens from my account. Now if I come back to my app, boom, I'm Mr. Rich. Have you guys thought on doing that on mainnet? Like a button to get into rich mainnet could be a good feature.
I think about that all the time. I'm like,
Bro, could be a good feature, you know? Make it private, like, okay. So you saw how that integrated? I asked it in a faucet. It was completed in network, took less than a second. If you blink it, too bad. Now you have money there. It's integrated with Flow. And I can even send this money around. Okay. For example, if you want to go to this live stream right now, it's here on the Luma page. Come to the live stream on YouTube, use the chat, and send me your address, wallet address, here in the chat. I should be able to copy it, and then I can send you guys money. Like open here on YouTube, and then you paste your wallet address in the chat. I should be able to copy it and send some money here. Okay. You can copy from your scaffold ETH from here. You can copy from your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you're using, and then go for the Luma page. Go for the YouTube link. If you're here, I'm not assuming you're watching the YouTube, but you come here and paste your wallet address. I can copy it and send some money for you. Some testnet money. Don't get too excited, okay? Igmar was like, oh yeah. Okay. can wait a little. Oh, Mauricio, you're very fast. Congrats. It had to be a Brazilian, right? Free. When we speak about free money, we jump at it right, right, brother. Gotcha. Just kidding. So if I use the Flow network to send money, could pick your address here, and I could send money to your address. I could use MetaMask, or I could bake this in the application just by vibing. I can click on send. With this account, I can paste Mauricio's account here, his address in the network, and I can say, oh, I'm going to send you how many? $1,358. They gotta declare taxes on this, okay? Just kidding. It is fake money. Yeah, but Brazilian government is so crazy with this thing of taxes that I wouldn't doubt that they will try to claim some money here. Okay. Yeah. So confirmed. Did you blink? Less than a second. Confirmed. Almost done. Guess. There you go. Mauricio, you should receive something. Yeah. And then I have a little less here on my app. Okay. So this is it. We have a blockchain application, blockchain-enabled application on Flow running in our own machine. That could be an initial point for you to start applying your project for the hackathon already. What's the next step? We have about half an hour for that. Say, no, actually 39 minutes for that. I still want to get some Q&A. Let's deploy an application on top of these money rails. Now that we can do transactions, now that we can send money for each order, and we have this super streamlined infrastructure for sending those transactions for a super low cost, we can start building on top of the money. This is a power enabled by blockchains with smart contracts that you can program the money. For example, I can take a dollar bill and I can program the dollar bill. Okay, if it is a weekend, you cannot be transferred. Okay, how to do that with a $1 bill? Is there any way to code this behavior in a $1 bill? Maybe I should try a higher bill, right? Let me see my higher bill. Oh, look at this. I do have a $100 bill. So can I do that in a $100 bill? That's not true as well. I cannot program fiat money. I could program a bank to do transaction fiat money. For example, in Australia, if you try to withdraw more than $1,000, they ask you why. It's kind of a law there, or at least I saw that in a video. So there are some things that you can do on top of banks and institutions using money, but you cannot program things on top of money itself, right? In the blockchain, you can. Let me show you this debug contracts tab here. This is a very interesting capability that Scaffold has to, it's going to take a little while to look. It's a nice capability that Scaffold has to show you smart contracts that you deploy inside your project and how to interact with them. Spoiler alert, we did not deploy any smart contracts on Flow, so it's going to be empty, but I'm going to vibe with that, with contracts, okay? And I'm going to try to make it fit in 36 minutes. And I hope it will. Now that we went through the environment setup, the problems that we're having installing, if this kind of tweaks of changes are working for you, adding emoji things here, the next things I'm going to do would work as well. So I'm going to open a new tab, a new conversation in MainSurf. I'm going to close everything else. I don't want any distractions. And I'm going to ask a question. Using the LLMS.txt, okay, I would go through the documentation to show that usually, but I'm going to ask a question, chat mode. How do I deploy a smart contract with this project? Or since I'm connected with Flow, I can ask, how do I deploy a smart contract to the Flow testnet connected, configured in this project? And I know by the documentation it's going to ask me to fund the wallet, do a transaction there. We're going to go through the whole process. But as a newcomer, you don't have patience, right? You don't want to listen to the whole explanation. You don't want to read the documentation. You just want to vibe it, right? So I'm going to follow the same process. I'm going to ask the same way that we ask it to configure our environment. I'm going to ask this file, the LLMS full txt, how to deploy a smart contract to the Flow testnet configured in this project, so that we can program things on top of money. Okay, and it's reading the documentation, it's reading my configuration, reading the configs, the files, reading the Bible, reading the package legislation, reading everything and thinking and reading, and then you got, okay, the current configuration is that. So the step-by-step would be generate and import a deployer account or import an existing private key, fund that, and deploy to the Flow testnet.
Right,
Interesting.
that does all of it for me.
No, it's going to involve passwords. You don't want to automate that. So let's do that real quick in 20 minutes. No? Yes? No? Let's open the terminal. We know how to do that already. You can open a new one, stop the other ones going. So the yarn start one should keep going, but the yarn chain, you can kill it. It's not necessary, but you can halt it if you want. Or you can just create a new terminal here. That's good as well, it should work just fine. And then we're going to do this first command, yarn generate, which is going to generate an account. This is different from the account that I have on MetaMask. This is going to be installed inside this very loud. This is going to be installed inside this environment, this repository, and it's going to ask for a password. Password to encrypt your private key. Okay, so do not use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, very weak password. Go at least to 7. Just kidding. Put your own password for that. This is kind of a good feature for scaffolding, because in the past, the norm was to save your password, your private key inside files. But we had some problems in the ecosystem that people would steal these files. It's called .env. And if they are plain text, if someone steals your .env file, they would steal all of crypto. So by using this kind of encryption that they are suggesting here is good. You just need to remember your password. And now you have this wallet address. Make sure to remember your password. You need that to decrypt the private key. Okay. Then I would need to fund my deployment account with this command yarn account. This command yarn account is going to print my balance and is going to, I guess it's going to show a QR code or something like that for my balance, if I remember it well. I don't need to send it money. Okay, I need to put my password again. Yeah, now I have this QR code, so you could send money for yourself here. It's a developer account. So the same way that I sent that for Mauricio, I'm going to copy this address. And I'm going to send some money for myself. Since I received that from the faucet, I could even ask from the faucet as well. But since I have so many here, I'm going to spare the faucet a little. And I'm going to use this account to send 10,000 flow, testnet flow to that account. If you're doing that on mainnet, the QR code could be good, but since we're doing here on testnet, I just copied it over, went here, okay. And right now, the flow testnet has a balance of 0, okay. But if I do this yarn account again, now that I completed that test transaction, I should have some money there. It's going to ask for my password again. And it's going to show that in the flow testnet, I should have a lot of money there. These are the other networks that I could be able to connect. And yes, it's showing me a balance of 10,000 flow, testnet flow available in my account for me to deploy smart contracts and do transactions here now. Sounds interesting, right? Inside my machine, it's not the MetaMask account, it's in my machine that I could do transactions here. Any questions at this point? See the YouTube if you have questions.
So are you generating transactions?
I'm generating an account that can sign transactions, and it's going to be like a server account that can run scripts. Because now if I do this command yarn deploy to the network of flow testnet, now I have a transaction that is going to be signed from this account, and I would be able to interact with that smart contract from that debug transactions window. Even a newcomer, without knowing how to sign transactions, how to interact with blockchain, I didn't even touch Solidity code at all here, but I still can interact with that smart contract. This is going to require my password for sending that transaction. And now this is going to do that same deploy command that we did in the local test network, but it's going to do on the flow testnet, deploying that contract called your contract. Okay. You see that in the terminal? Created a contract here, deployed at that address, let's deploy your contract. Okay. Questions here? I should do like that maybe. Okay, so this is the expected result. We should have the smart contract deployed. And at this point, you're going to see the result of your action, of your script, reflecting there in the front end. You can go for the bug contract, the scaffolding project, and this is the contract that you have just deployed. This is a programmable money program deployed in the flow testnet. This is a template, like a toy contract that can allow us to write a message. So for example, there is a message saying building unstoppable apps here as a greeting. And I can come to this right tab and say something. Mateus is here. Then I can click send in that transaction. I need to confirm that in my wallet. This is going to execute this program like a billboard. You're writing something in a billboard. And then the greeting is going to change. It changed it to Mateus was here in this left tab. Well, nothing too impressive at this point, right? It's just that I string change it. Yeah, but what if I told you that now you can mix that with money payments? For example, if I type a value here of 100, let me click on this asterisk so that I have 100 token. And if I say something different, like, what's your guys' favorite pizza flavor? Okay, so Pineapple on pizza is cool. Okay, you said that, right?
I did.
Okay, not me. I don't want to be crucified. So, by using this value of 100, using this asterisk there that created this math for me, I'm going to send 100 flow for this smart contract. It's like I was using $100 bill and say, hey, $100 bill, I'm going to pay this, and as I pay this, we're going to do a change in the state of the database. The money is a program. And then as I do this, I'm going to confirm this transaction. I'm going to pay for that transaction, but the same transaction that I pay made this Boolean go for true premium. If this was an application, I could make it like flash in purple. Oh, pineapple on pizza, it's cool. I paid for this to be flashing. Now it's a premium post. Imagine a social media that I paid for it to display on the top. The money transaction itself made a change in the state of the blockchain, made the program behave differently. This is the capabilities of these smart contracts. Okay. If you're using to the normal financial sector, it might be like, okay, I couldn't do that with my bank account, with the database and all. But imagine that you could build the whole application around that based on those primitives of decentralization. Like what was CryptoKitties? It is not only about the speed and the efficiency of the blockchain, but also what this empowers, creating a whole game ecosystem that is decentralized, create a decentralized finance of exchanges, decentralized exchanges, leverage, borrowing, lending, all of that to the power of smart contracts without middlemen. This is the kind of technology that we are facing. And again, people, this used to take 6 weeks. I had this boot camp, 6 weeks to get to this point, that now we're doing 3 hours, getting a smart contract deployed just by vibing it. Okay. Let's be brave. Let's try to vibe code a whole new smart contract. Do you have any ideas of what you want to build with this now? You just saw a smart contracts, but what crazy stuff you want to build with this?
Kim Jong-un's wallet.
An application. Let's try an application first. Let me start a new tab, a new conversation. Now let's do
Steal back all that paper.
code. Start a new chat. On code mode, I'm going to attach the llms.txt. And now I'm going to ask it to create a new smart contract. Create and deploy a new smart contract that, now you tell me. I need to prove that this wasn't rehearsed before, that this is done live, like an improvise. So for showing that vibe coding exists, we should be brave, we should try it together, and maybe it's not going to work. But now you tell me, what do you want to build? What do you want to vibe here? What kind of smart contracts? If you have a dollar bill that you could program it, or you cannot be transacting the weekend, or every time it crosses a border, it duplicates value or charge taxes. What kind of ideas you have here now?
Why, how about a smart contract that makes the equivalent of 1 cent or say some percent? What about if you're smart on one wallet to another every time you check the balance?
Oh, every time you check the balance, you gain money or lose money.
Yeah, you
Something.
lose money.
Yeah. Oh,
The next thing right already.
yeah. That's interesting, bro.
I want to see that. Let's say your public address. I want that every time someone uses your app, that your public address gets a service.
Service fee for using the app,
Or
like,
using the smart contract or whatever.
okay, like a membership.
OnlyFans page.
Oh my,
I have a great flip shop
let me see it.
on OnlyFans.
Okay.
I charge for that.
How much? Oh no, it's for a friend. Okay, So they just are going in a good direction. Food picks and no, that's excluded. The idea of like playing around with balances. Every time I check my balance, that's interesting. But every time I access my app, so for example, I click a button to enter the app, and then I need to pay you one flow, for example. So create and deploy a new smart contract that charges one flow as payment every time it let's say every time it creates an account. So every time a user and user, it's a user, right? User creates an account by providing name and age, something like that. I would have a user with the name and age, and then you want to have a button to be able to withdraw this money as well, right? So create a function so that the app owner could withdraw these funds. So that's a good idea. It's not going to be an app for now, it's just a smart contract, but every time someone creates an account, I need to pay one flow, and then 1,000 people create an account there, then I can withdraw these 1,000 flows from that. Okay?
So it's like a pool that gets created and
Yeah, something like an entry fee. Pay to play. You want to enter this membership, 1,000 slots limited, pay one flow to enter right now, or you're going to be left out. Okay? This could be a great way to create a rug pull. Very famous application. Don't rug people. So it could be like a membership, and then you airdrop these people. Could be like a launchpad, or you part of this, or like an investor syndicate. There are a lot of different ways to play around with this, you know? And I honestly don't know if the AI will be able to create that smart contract. I'm expecting for it to behave, created some solidity code, detected that there are some errors, interesting. So now the AI should fix its own errors. Yeah, some linking errors that happen sometimes. So it's going to go back and forth. It's trying to deploy the contract now. It's asking us permission to deploy. Let's see. It's calling that contract account registry for some reason. It's probably going to ask my password here. Let me see how it goes. Yeah, at any time you can move this to a terminal session. Yeah, so I should do that with my password. Remember how we had to type the password every time we run a transaction? So I'm going to run that in a terminal. I'm going to copy that here from that command. I fixed the mistakes in the smart contract. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to run that manually inside a terminal because I need to type my password. The AI is not going to know how to type the password for me, okay? Kind of a small bug or glitch on the flow, but after I do this command, I'm going to skip there. It should work. So it's deploying this account registry contract that you just created. This is a Solidity smart contract, okay? Everyone asks if you deploy the smart contract before you're going to say, yes, I use an AI to deploy it for me, created that smart contract, and here we go, okay? Cannot connect to network, local host. Oh no, it's, okay, let me explain that. Remember that when we deployed, we used this network flow testnet. The AI forgot that. So we are going to deploy this smart contract called account registry in the flow testnet. Okay, so we need to type network flow testnet. Network flow testnet. Okay, I forgot that. It would say something like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Let me fix that. By the way, pay the 3 cents you paid for me to make this mistake. So I know what this error is about, so you don't need to ask AI for that. I'm going to now deploy that in the flow testnet. I'm going to put my password. And we have like 15 minutes, and I still want to have time for questions. This should deploy the smart contract, deploying the account registry. And there we go. Now I can skip that command here, and this should finish the generation. So let me stop that. I finished the generation already. Now, if I come to this page again, debug contracts, now I have two contracts to debug. One that was the placeholder your contract that we were trying a while ago. Now we have this account registry that we just vibed. I have all of these functions to click through. I can read the accounts, account addresses, get account. For now it's empty. Or I could create one account. What's my name? Okay, Mateus. What's my age? 33. How much I'm going to pay? I need to pay 1 token, right? So let me send this. Let me see if it works. Igmar, here your idea. The smart contract is there. It was vibed. I did not write this smart contract. Was only vibing it with English. Let me see if it works. It works. Now I have one account created. Let me read the accounts that I have for this address. And here I have Mateus with this age, with that number, and true. Paid. Created. So the months of study that we need to have to deploy this kind of smart contract now can be reduced to a couple of hours of development. And if you want to go further, maybe this would be the starting point for you to start working on your project. For the hackathon, it's like create a new page, as the context, the LLM as full.txt, create a new page in this application. For the interface, for this account registry smart contract. So it's going to create a new page using TypeScript, using the Wallet Connect, using Vim, Wagmi, all of stuff that I use it to take hours to explain. It's going to use all of that for you, coding a new page. It's going to create a new page using this framework called Next.js, a framework on top of the library of React. It's going to figure out where to put those files, what to import on each of those files. It's going to navigate through the documentation to know how to do these connections. It's going to read the functions of the smart contract that I've just created. I did not read this smart contract. I don't know what are all of these functions. Maybe some of these are broken. This could be a security risk for money for my clients. Okay, I did not read, but even without reading, the AI should be able to create all of those components and links and connections for me. Okay. If all goes well, then I should be able to create this new page and integrate component or something. Let me see if that's going in the right direction. Next.js, app page. Now I have this new page, accounts, page.csx. It's creating here. Seems reasonable. I don't have much of a expectation that it would work single shot, but maybe we are lucky. Maybe the vibes are with us today. We only have 11 minutes. but that should be enough. And then we can get some Q&A here. Okay. At the end, the AI should figure out what changes to do. Cloud Sonnet 4.5 thinking. Inside Windsurf, having access to the code base, having access to those files and all, should be able to figure out all of the changes. Okay. So we finish it, deploy this contract, create a new page, put in the header. Okay, let's accept all. Let's go for the account registry. Compiling, now is the time. Bro, if this works, it's going to be super cool. Like, took us a while, like was a hill to climb on the environment stuff. After we got it done, it's going well. Well, yes, it's working. I do have one account created, so I can look up address, total accounts, one ETH, one creating. That's cool. Let me create another one here. Oh, I guess someone else will need to do this. Because, yeah, that's a good point. It's configured to use ETH as the native token for Ethereum. But now that we connected to Flow, we kind of forgot to ask it to update the page. Hey, we are using Flow. Update symbol. Good point. It's just a front end. In the back end, it's still connected to the Flow EVM testnet. But because it's EVM compatible, it's using the symbol. Okay. And here is. This could be a hackathon project. I mean, imagine you invest the weekend on that, the next week on that. Even without going through the formal education of deploying smart contracts, Solidity, and maybe you can even try. If you prefer to stay in the Solidity path, that's okay. But if you want to try doing the cadence for the bigger price, it could work in the same way. You do have the quick start for AI as well. You could use cadence the same way we're using Solidity here, and then instead of deploying in the Flow EVM testnet, you would deploy in the Flow normal testnet instead of the EVM compatible. And then you could even deploy your smart contracts in cadence. Okay? The same thing that we did on the EVM testnet here. Okay, so yes, in a week or in a weekend, even without going through the formal training, you could still deploy something similar to that for the hackathon project and win $1,000 as the best coded project. Okay, questions? What do you think? Feedbacks? Were the burritos good? The session was good?
Where can we post stuff every day?
Well, hackathon. You can submit your project to the Forte Hacks here. Click on that link, register, and then you can submit your project there, which will be eligible for $250,000 in prize and perks. And is Flow doing some promotions for the projects submitting in the hackathon as well? I know that Flow has this directory for the builder project, something like that. Ali was saying. Let's have this crazy one. Yeah. So a lot of visibility potential here. If you submit the project here, you're going to compete for the prizes and have those showcase opportunities. Yeah.
So you talked about Forte and like the Disney and all the brands, right? So how do you connect? How do you talk to the like what if I wanted to build something that checks the prices or NBA hot shot, cards or whatever? Can you do that?
So you're speaking about those specific tracks.
I was wondering if
with the setup that we have right now, is it easy to talk to not to Ethereum blockchain, but the Flow blockchain?
Yeah.
Because it's a very difficult one.
Everything that we did today should enable you to complete this track, the vibe coded project. That if you invest a little more time, can even enable you to complete the other tracks as well, or maybe pair up with people in those other tracks.
I guess what I'm trying to understand is like, is there a full parity between what you can do in Ethereum versus what you could do to work more directly in the Flow blockchain?
Yeah.
Or what are that like? Yeah.
So like, when we say EVM equivalents, right? Like, think about a lot of things.
Maybe you want to answer this in the mic as well for recording. So, for example, using Solidity versus using Cadence versus deploying EVM compatible mode or native mode, what would be the best options here?
Yeah, I think it's the question on compatibility, right? Like, what is it? And it's a little bit kind of an interesting concept to look at. So when you think about like different layer 2 chains or other existing layer 1s that might promise like different performance or something, when they say something like EVM compatibility is like Ethereum is a network, but it will run inside of it the EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. And that like manages state, it executes like the Solidity contracts that exist in there. So Flow like is compatible with it. So it originally started as like a multi-role architecture chain with just Cadence, but we wanted to like allow developers to do Solidity deployments and stuff as well, right? Or open up tooling integrations like with OpenSea or something, so you can just like they can deploy their contracts and then come in and now there's it's compatible with the network. So when they say EVM compatibility, like in Flow, it runs the Ethereum virtual machine, which will let you like execute Solidity contracts, and those are basically then like sent through the network and wrapped up in a Cadence transaction. So it just executes as is. You could take it and deploy it on Ethereum, or you could just come here with all the same code and then deploy it on Flow, and it'll all work the same. So they're basically just different networks that you're running on. Does that make sense?
So what's kind of like the canonical example of like Flow and EVM?
Of like, what do you, in terms
Like for example, like, you could say like a lot of the chains that are compatible, or you can do bridging. You can bridge a token from chain A to chain B, right? So is there an example of what you can do with like, I guess if you have, I have a CryptoKitties as an example of Ethereum, but if you have assets, let's say on the Flow chain, right? Can you interact with those assets with the EVM, or is that?
Yeah, and like you can bridge them across Cadence and EVM or from 2 other networks. And there's also like a lot of third-party infrastructure that exists as well for bridging, like Relay. There's on our site. There's all sorts of stuff around like different bridging, and there's constantly new like different third-party infrastructure that's being added into the network. So yeah, cross compatibility, like definitely.
All right. Thank you.
That's great. Well, that was. Let me see if I have questions from the YouTube as well. See the interactions here. Okay, we recorded all 3 hours. Oh my god, it's supposed to be like 2 hours and a half, but that's good. We should have a couple minutes for last questions. Think of what are you excited to build in a hackathon. What would you build now? What do you explore? Finance, social, centralization. I saw a question in the back there about ZK. A lot of cool stuff that we can try to do in this hackathon now. Games. Wasn't gaming here. Nice. Maybe like Flow game. Maybe like since it's wind stuff with Flow, maybe a game where you gotta keep flowing the waves, something like that, Flappy Bird, you can have like flowy bird, very Californian style. Well, the ideas are there. If you want to get inspirations of ideas, you do have an idea bank as well inside the Forte Hacks. So as a conclusion, I would say come here to this link, register to the Forte Hacks, and if you don't feel ready to compete, just go with Printstuff or your favorite AI IDE, give it enough context, use a good starting point like Scaffold E, use the documentation from Flow, and you should be able to vibe with it and learn as you go. Instead of learning it to 3 months and then competing, you can start right now and learn as you go. Okay? And that's it. Thank you everyone for today's session. Thanks everyone watching to the live. Thank you for watching this later. Thank you for coming. Oh, 126. Nice. Thank you all for coming here today in person. I hope you enjoyed. We do have more action tomorrow, Saturday here in the tower as well. And in the channel, as you might know very well, we do have a lot of events going in the calendar. Feel free to join the streams and learn more about AI and Web3 with us. Okay?
The hackathon is fully online, right?
Yeah, this recording?
No, the hackathon itself.
100% online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to fly anywhere to do it. So just plug in and you should be able to compete and earn all of these prizes. Okay? Thank you everyone. Wrapping here now. Thank you. Yes. We ended at 3 hours exactly.